If you've ever tried to complain about a product or service, you'll know how troublesome and time-consuming it can be. And if your complaint's about the likes of Apple, Argos or Marks & Spencer, you may also know it could be costly. Yes, like everything else, complaining can have its price. But just how expensive can it be? Our mystery shoppers have been finding out.
Online shopping. Cheap, quick and simple. Until, of course, something goes wrong. Then you can either email the company and wait for the reply, or if you want a quicker response, you can give them a call. Or maybe not. You see, lots of retailers still use so-called service numbers, starting with 0844 and 0845. Charges vary, but can be up to 5 pence a minute on a BT landline or 76 pence a minute from a mobile. It doesn't sound a lot until you factor in the amount of time you could spend on hold. Listen to this viewer. All she wanted to do was swap a new dishwasher that didn't fit for a different, slimmer version.
I tried to contact Homebase via email. I ended up sending 4 emails over the course of a week. To all of them, I got an automated response saying that they would be getting back to me within 48 hours and to call their 0845 number if I wanted a quicker response. I asked my mum to make a phone call. She spoke to one person on the phone and then was put on hold. But after 17, 18 minutes on hold, she just had to give up.
So, how much did Janet have to pay to not get her problem sorted?
After the phone call, we looked at the bill and realised that the 25-minute phone call had cost £8.43, which I thought was ridiculous, seeing as I'd wanted to communicate via email.
In the end, Janet communicated in person and for free. She went back to the store and got a refund. There are other numbers companies use that you should be wary of, like those starting with 0871 and 0870. Even worse are the 09 premium rate lines, costing up to £2.55 per minute from a mobile and £1.53 from a BT landline. Providers of horoscopes and competitions often use these, as do the budget airline Vueling. Sue Casas called them when they rearranged her flight unexpectedly.
I had to make 8 calls in total. The most expensive call was the first one I made, which was about 34 minutes, just stuck in a queue, waiting to get through to somebody. And eventually I just got cut off. And then when I came back from my holiday, I got all my phone bills and worked out it actually cost me £105. So it was almost more than the flight.
Companies don't have to use such numbers. They could use those beginning with 0800, which are free from landlines, or 03 numbers, which are included in your minutes if you have a pay monthly mobile. So, how many of them are choosing to stick with the more expensive ones? Our team checked 20 of the biggest online retailers to discover what they charge for calling to complain. The cheapest were these 5, which all have 0800 numbers, and Expedia, which has an 03 number. As for the rest of them, well, 5 companies chose to use numbers starting with 0843 or 0844. And another 5, that's Argos, Apple, M&S, John Lewis and Play.com, used 0845. As this is more expensive on average across all networks, it was these companies we put to the test. First up, how much their service lines cost you before you even get to speak to an advisor. Remember, the quicker they answer, the less it's going to be. And they're off.
Welcome to your M&S. Thank you for calling Argos. Welcome to johnlewis.com.
So, at the end of that, the company with the fastest time is M&S, answering in just
46 seconds.
Next, it's Play.com in
47 seconds.
Followed by John Lewis in
1 minute 24 seconds.
Then it's Argos, time
1:48.
And last is Apple in
3:16.
To make this fair, our team called each company 10 times. M&S remained the fastest, with an average wait of 1 minute and 9 seconds per call, which could cost up to 47 pence from some mobile networks. Second was Play.com, with an average wait of 1 minute and 19 seconds. Cost? Just 3 pence from a landline and up to 54 pence from some mobiles. Then again, one call to them did last this long.
5 minutes 57 seconds.
Which could have cost up to £2.43 if we'd rung from a mobile. Next, it was John Lewis, closely followed by Argos. But the company with the longest average wait was Apple. Time? 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Cost? Up to 6 pence from a landline and as much as £1.28 from some mobiles. So that's how long you can wait and how much you can pay when you call to complain. But what about when you're calling to buy? Well, both M&S and Apple have separate phone lines for sales queries. So we made 10 calls to each of them. We wanted to find out if they'd answer these calls any quicker. Firstly, M&S. On average, they did answer their sales line at 36 seconds faster than they answered their customer service line. So, using a mobile, it cost us up to 25 pence less to buy something than to complain. As for Apple, on average, we got through to their sales line 2 minutes and 3 seconds faster than when we were calling to register a complaint. And if you think that's bad, the sales line is a cheaper 0800 number. The conclusion then. If you're using a mobile, calling Apple to complain can cost up to £1.05 more than when calling them to buy something. And remember, that's before you even speak to anyone.
Well, most of the companies featured say there are various ways to contact them for free and that charges for 0845 numbers are set by network providers. Homebase says that as Janet Bell used a mobile, the call cost was far higher than it would have been from a landline. It's sorry she had difficulty making contact and will look into it further. That's Homebase. As the response from the others, what are they saying?
OK then, Rakuten, who own Play.com, says it answers 80% of calls within 62 seconds, but is reviewing how to improve the service. As is Argos, it says callers are initially met with a voice recording which supplies important information and options. Once it's finished, the vast majority of calls are answered within 15 seconds. John Lewis says its initial voice recording aims to direct callers to the correct place. Once the appropriate option's been selected, the average time is 20 seconds. It says that as its service centre is centralised operation, the 0845 line is significantly cheaper than a geographical 01 or 02 number for customers using a landline, which accounts for 80% of calls.
But what about the companies that have separate lines for complaints and sales?
OK then. Well, M&S says we were able to get through to sales faster because the initial opening recorded message is shorter. It says the call times we quoted for complaints include a 42-second opening message, which gives customers various options and is designed to save them time. Once this is finished, the average answer time is 13 seconds, with 90% of calls answered within a minute. However, from the start of December, M&S is cutting the length of the opening message by 10 seconds, so customers can get through quicker. Finally, Apple says it offers customers a range of ways to make contact, including a free phone 0800 number, which is shown on the homepage of the Apple Store website. Now, full responses from all the companies are on our website.
Rani, thank you very much.